Hey everyone, Mark here from Mornings with Mark and Sam on Kick FM. I'm joined in the Kick FM kitchen, which is rare enough, with Brannigan and LJ from the Blind Goat. You see the awesome logos they got rocking there. The new cider house that's about to open in Quincy early 2024. We can tentatively say early 2024. And they're going to be at the Makers Market coming on up here on 6th Street on the 23rd of September. And we're going to test some stuff out today. So ciders.
Yep.
Lay it out for me. We got 3 different kinds we're going to test today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have our apple pie cider.
Okay.
We have what we call the Mets, which is our dry hop. It's more of an IPA style cider.
Okay.
And then we have our golden monkey, which is golden kiwi and banana.
Okay. And the thing about ciders, and I learned this because we just did an interview, everything is fruit based, right?
Correct.
So when you're starting with it, you're taking all that actual fruit and you are putting it in the fermenters, and that's how it gets going.
Yeah. So we do a lot of juice pressing. So we'll get all the fruit, we put it into a fruit press, and then we use that for either for different flavors or for our bases stuff.
Local farmers and stuff?
As much as possible.
As much as possible.
Yep.
Not a lot of fruit, not a lot of kiwi growers.
Yeah.
In the Quincy Hamlet area. All right, well, let's start with one. Which one do we want to jump in with?
Oh, let's start. What do you think? We start with the Mets.
Yeah, we start with that.
The Mets.
Start with the Mets.
So is there like, I guess the other thing would ask would be like, is apples, like a hard apple cider, like kind of the base? Like, you know, you think of like a Red's apple ale or things like that. So when you're creating a cider, you know, kind of like in a, you know, I'm a beer drinker, so I'm like a Miller Lite guy. So like, is it just you start with like a Pilsner and then you build off of it? Is that kind of the base?
So yeah, so they all essentially start with the same ingredients, and then based on the flavor profile that you're going for,
okay,
you can do that. And then different apples will provide different levels of sweetness as well. Most cider bases are a collection of different ones, so it's a variety of apples in there, not just one specific type. But
okay, so this is the Mets, and so what's in this one?
So this is apple cider, and then we dry hopped it with cashmere hops, which have more of a fruit note to them as well. So this is our complementary to Quincy Brewing Company's Bingo Hazy IPA.
Oh, okay,
so
very nice.
Bingo was named after the dog of the guy who owned the Villa Catherine, and the guy who owned the Villa Catherine, his name was George Metz, and so that's where.
Ah, you gotta love the local tie-ins. All right, so let's give it a try. Oh wow! Well, it's very fruity, but not like explode on your palate fruity.
Yep.
And you certainly get it's weird. You say it's dry like those, like, you know, and it feels that way as well.
Yeah. So this is what we would say the cider for the beer drinker. So this is going to be the closest one to a beer without actually being a beer.
It definitely has that flavor. And how different is it than from like wine? You know, because you're thinking like, oh, okay, well, wine is grapes and fruit.
Yeah.
So is it closer to a wine than a beer?
Yeah. So actually, by legal definition, the state of Illinois, we're defined as a winery, not a brewery. So a little fun fact there.
There you go.
So it's based on the type of fruit. So grapes make the wine base. So to be a wine, it's a grape base, and then a cider is apple based.
Yeah, I mean that's like so refreshing and crisp in its own way.
Yeah.
And that's mainly an apple base in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that one's just a straight
can
apple
taste
cider, and then we dry hopped it.
Yeah, you definitely could taste it. That's terrific. Very good. Now, when you're talking about opening up, you know, the cider house, how many taps do you think you're going to be trying to do? Obviously, you know, QBC rotates some, but they have some staples. Would this be a staple, you think?
This one probably will be, just because it caters to a different type of crowd. Like we said, it's the beer drinker cider. So, you know, if people come in and they're like, oh, I'm not a big cider person, I really want more of a beer, this would be a good introduction for them.
Absolutely.
And then we're also going to have a tap or two for beer, just so there is an option there if you're absolutely not a cider or mead drinker. We got something for you there.
Simple as that. All right, what's up next?
We'll do the apple pie next.
Apple pie.
Save the monkey for last.
The monkey for last. That makes me a little nervous, but also excited. Saving the monkey for last. So this is apple pie. So again, apple based.
Correct.
But what maybe difference between the two that I'm going to taste off the bat here?
So this one has a lot more pie spices in it. It'll have cinnamon,
okay,
a little bit of nutmeg. it'll be a much more fuller flavor for you.
Or you can smell the cinnamon off the bat, and already just the color of it way darker than the Mets. Oh wow, a very holiday vibe.
Oh yeah.
Especially as we're heading into the fall here. Now, is this something that specifically you're thinking about, like, oh, this is a fall Christmas drink?
Yeah,
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, and so you had mentioned earlier about having a rotating line and having the staples. This one will definitely be one that's more of a seasonal type flavor, looking at fall or into winter.
Oh, it's really, really good. If you're one of those people that loves anything, the cinnamon flavor stuff as you're heading into fall, or this reminds me of like when in Chicago they do this big thing called the Chris Kindle Market, and they do a market I think at the old brewery Dick's Brothers, and they serve like that hot mead type, and it's cinnamon flavored, and it's this very, very similar. Only still very refreshing in its own way because it's crisp and cold, and it doesn't land as heavy in that way.
Yep. Something nice to sip around the bonfire in the fall time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like this is very much like after the high school football game, the dads all get together around the bonfire and reminiscing the glory days, and you're drinking one of these. That's for sure. Yeah. Very, very good. I like that one a lot. And you bring them in 4-packs. Are you planning on canning and selling in this way?
Eventually. It's in the plan down the road.
Okay.
We've got a lot of startup to do. So primarily, initially, all of our sales will be out of the tap. We will have to-go options such as growlers and crowlers, like QBC does.
Great.
And then eventually we'll work on a canning line. But that's
So at the market, for example, coming up on the 23rd of September, you'll serve out of the tap?
Yep. Yeah, we'll have a draft system set up, and people can come up and we'll give you a little glass full of whatever flavor you like. You can try one, you can try all 4. And then we'll have shirts and hats and merchandise available too. So,
which obviously you see the merch is fantastic, and we'll tell the story here when we're done tasting the last one. But the Blind Goat, how they got the name the Blind Goat is fantastic. So we'll go on to that next. So this is kiwi. It's something called a monkey something.
Yeah. Yep. Golden kiwi and banana.
Okay.
So we have a mead that we make that's called the Dirty Monkey, and it's chocolate and banana, and it is really good.
Okay.
And that'll probably be a staple one.
You were explaining meads versus ciders. Meads go back through history as maybe the first alcoholic beverage, you were saying. And the idea of a mead is it's honey based, so you're fermenting the honey.
Correct.
So the alcohol is coming from the fermented honey versus ciders, you're getting fermented fruit. Yep. And then beers, you're getting fermented grains.
Sugars, yeah.
Okay, so it's still the fermentation process, which is, you're going to have the big, barrels and doing all that stuff. And so it's just the different, what you're fermenting, creating different products and different tastes, different flavors. So whose brainchild was this?
It was a collective.
Most of the stuff's kind of on a
Throw some kiwi in there, try that.
Yeah.
You're still in that early stages, right? But it's fun just to...
And we just like to experiment and...
With the Frankenstein of
put a little
palates.
this, a little that, and
all right, let's
something like that.
This is the Golden Monkey.
Golden Monkey.
All right. That's dangerous. Like that, I wouldn't even know that's an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
It's in a way like if you're if you drink those seltzers, where you say to yourself, that's a little dangerous because it tastes like a carbonated water. Mm-hmm. This has that same feeling, only it's got so much more flavor than those seltzers and stuff. But if you're sitting at the pool and you're like, that's like, you have 2 or 3 of those and all of a sudden you're like, it hits you. You're like, wait, what have I been drinking?
They'll sneak up on you.
Yeah, you give this to grandma and thinks it's just, you know what I mean? She thinks it's just a nice fruit drink, but it's packed with alcohol. What is the alcohol content on things like this? An average beer, a Miller Lite, a Bud Light is what, 4.2, something like that. Yeah. Where are you guys sitting at?
Most of our stuff hangs out between 5 and 5.5%.
Okay.
Our meads, on the other hand, are anywhere from 12 to 15%. They're much more in the wine category than.
And when you serve a mead, is it served more like in a wine glass?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And will you have meads on tap? Would you put them on tap or available in bottles when you're?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the goal too.
We'll probably have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
If we have a new flavor out, we'll probably put it on tap so people can come in and try it out, and then we'll hopefully do a lot of bottling as well, so that way we can rotate through flavors or have different stuff available. It's got an extremely long shelf life, so the longer it sits, the better it tastes. It ages and just gets smoother and smoother. So
the meads.
yeah,
I never had to try it. I don't think I've ever had a mead.
yeah, that'll be a whole different video.
We'll do
bring some
absolutely,
stuff in.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just terrific. I mean, this is very, very dangerous in that way, in the sense that, yeah, I mean, it sneaks up on you. If you're a person who is a wine drinker, or again, if you're a beer drinker, I don't see why you'd have any problem ordering that and not being, I mean, like, I'll have another. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just really, really sippable, easy to drink.
Yep.
Now, tell me a little bit about the idea of that, 2019 to now, here we are in this short period, and did you ever think, like, you got the logos, you're sitting here with your own stuff canned, how crazy this kind of little journey has been for both of you guys, and you'd think, normally, we're starting a brewery together, like, you're lifelong friends, but no, you guys met fairly recently in that way too.
Yeah, it's been one of those things that, as it seems like every 6 months we kind of like do a check-in, and it's like, wow, we're here, and just in 6 months we've gone from this to this, and just our excuse me, our brewing capabilities and the sizes that we started with. We were making 1 gallon batches in a glass jug, and now we're making 15-gallon batches, and in a couple months we'll be making 300-gallon batches.
Wow.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, that's for sure. But
and I love, we talked about it earlier. We have an interview that we're going to air on the morning show, but the idea that you're looking to do something different, offering something different to the community, and while also being a part of a really unique growing area of the downtown. Right. It's easy, and I always say, and I stand by it, since moving here 4.5 years ago, Main Street of downtown Hannibal is like the perfect place to host events and things in the whole Tri-States. It's set up for that. But what the brewing company has done with 6th Street is really, in my opinion, becoming Quincy's area for that.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be opening up within the year. 8 Open, the really popular food truck that Quincy Brewing Company has really introduced a lot of people to, is opening a restaurant there. You have the new Plat Daddy Barbecue just on the other side of 6th Street. The Axe Company, you're sandwiched between the Axe Company and where 8 Open is going to be at the corner. The explosion of that little area of downtown Quincy, I'm sure it's really exciting for you guys to we want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and it's funny because our initial vision for our business had nothing to do with downtown. We were looking at more outskirts of town, kind of like a barn dominium type feel.
Oh yeah, like almost like a winery, like come visit us, like at Edgewood Orchards or something like that.
And the more we started talking with Quincy Brewing Company and other leaders of the 6th Street renovation, we realized, we need to get in on this now, because 5 years from now, businesses will want to get in and there just won't be any room.
And there won't be any room. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's a really exciting thing for the community. Brannigan, LJ, appreciate it, man. Thanks you guys for coming on in. This is terrific. You can find them at the Makers Market on Saturday, the 23rd of September. Any other events planned already coming on up?
That's our
the next big one.
But if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, we'll post our stuff on there when we have little pop-up things. So.
Just the Blind Goat, right?
Yep, Blind Goat Cider House.
Cider House on Facebook and Instagram. Check them on out. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.